Hi, I'm Mama Fontana. Welcome to my kitchen. It's still November. We have some really fun stuff going on this month. It's going to be Thanksgiving before you know it. So today we're going to do something that my family loves, and I learned it from my mom, so maybe I can teach you something. So this is homemade bread. My mom made this, back in those days. You didn't really buy a lot of sliced bread, so they made bread every single week, and sometimes multiple times a week, because that's just how it happened. So first thing I do is I use a bar of the soft Crisco. I like the butter. Well, number one, because it has butter flavor, and who doesn't love the flavor of butter? And these are the best things ever because they're already measured out. It's exactly 1 cup. So if you don't have these, you can measure out 1 cup of Crisco shortening, butter flavored if you would like. That's my favorite. And then after that, what we're going to do is, what I want to do is you have to get your yeast kind of mixing up. So here's about 2 tablespoons of yeast. And my mom always told me you have to put a little skinchy of sugar in this. And then we're going to put a little bit of water so that it will be starting to, you'll see it foaming and it'll start working or activating. So we're going to put a little water in this. It should be tepid, so that means not hot, not cold. And it doesn't need to be a lot, maybe about, half a cup, something like that. I'm going to mix this up. You don't have to beat it. Just beat it, just beat it. People like to hear me sing. They really don't, but it's kind of funny. So here is your yeast. Smells yeasty, pretty good. So we're gonna let that activate. I'm gonna set it here so you can see it. All of a sudden it's gonna just start doing its own little thing. To your Crisco, let's add about 2 teaspoons of salt. And then my mom used to scald milk. And then when things got a little bit easier and they started making things, I use powdered milk, much easier. It doesn't take as much time. You can just put it in there. This was way harder to open than I thought it was going to be. Plus my hands have Crisco on them, so now they're slippery. Woo! See? Woo! See? So here's your powdered milk you're going to put in there with your Crisco and your salt. And then mashed potatoes. Yes, this gives your bread a little bit of a thicker, moister feel to it. So it's going to take, I would say, about a cup. As you can tell, I don't measure anything exactly because I'm just so used to doing it. I've been doing it for such a long time. So about a cup. Then I use my potato masher to get things started. So you're going to want to get in there and get your Crisco mixed in with your salt, your dried milk, and your potato flakes. This recipe has been handed down through my family. My grandma used to make it, then my mom, and then I had, there were 7 of us, 4 girls, 3 boys, and I think most of us girls know how to do this. Everybody's kind of tweaked it to their own. So now we have that pretty much getting mixed up in there, and we're going to add 3 eggs. If you want to get fancy, you can do it the one-handed way. There's your eggs. Give another little mix. Let's get that incorporated in there. Okay, now it looks like it's getting all mixed in there. Those eggs just make it a little bit better. See, look at this yeast. See how it's starting to work? It's starting to foam up. It's activating. It looks really cool. This dough is good for a lot of different things. You can use it for bread. You can use it for cinnamon rolls. You can use it for rolls, which I'm going to make today, rolls for Thanksgiving. And so you put about half a cup of sugar, which is about what I put in there. If you're going to make cinnamon rolls or you want a sweeter bread dough, use a full cup. So we're going to incorporate that in there. Now, because we have no wet ingredients here, And I didn't scald milk to put in there. I put in warm water. So I'd say that's about 2 quarts, maybe, about that. And what that's gonna do is it's warm, not hot. It's gonna start melting the Crisco. It's gonna turn it kind of into a milky substance. Plus those potato flakes, it's gonna make those thicken a little bit. And this is what it's gonna look like. It smells really good too. I don't know about you, but I love the smell of butter and then the smell of all the different eggs and that, and then the smell of yeast. Some people may not like it. I really like the smell of yeast. It smells like something that's baking, and it just has a really nice flavor. Plus it makes everything rise really nice. So just put all of that in here. You have to be careful once you've added the yeast. You don't want to beat that up because it will break it apart. You want to just carefully incorporate it in there, softly, gently. Okay, here we go. So that's done. Now comes the fun part. So, flour. It's going to take a lot of flour, so I can't give you an exact amount because it's more of a feel. So I would say to begin with, I'm going to probably put in about 7 cups. Yes, and I'm going to dump it in. And once you get it like that, then you're going to have to start mixing it slowly. Remember that yeast is in there. And be prepared, people. You're going to have to get your hands dirty, which actually is the fun of it. Makes you feel like you're a kid and you're playing with your Play-Doh. But instead of just making something that looks cute, you're going to get something that tastes delicious. So here's where it's starting. You can still see it's still pretty mushy. Get all that flour mixed in there. It's going to take probably most of this canister of flour by the time all is said and done. And I will tell you that depending on what you're making will determine of whether how much flour you use. So do you need it for rolls? Wouldn't be quite as stiff as if you're going to use loaves of bread. So for rolls, we're going to not make it quite as stiff, and so you wouldn't need quite as much flour. It's not a very long process. After we get this done, then we're going to let it rise in the pan, and then we'll take it out of that and put it into a sheet that will actually start forming the rolls or whatever it is that you would like to make. More flour. So it's still pretty sticky. That's the best way I can tell you, is it's still kind of sticky. So there's your sticky. When it gets to a certain point, you just need to get your hands in there onto that point. So as most of you know, this is called kneading. So you need to knead the dough, and that incorporates all of the flour in there, making it where we need it to be. My family, we do a lot of different things with this dough. We do a thing called Doughgads. A lot of people tease about that. Basically what it is fry bread, but everybody loves it. It was something that I was raised on, and it's something that I make for my kids and my grandkids, and they've gotten to the point where they really like it. It's something that, it's like I said, it's kind of like a scone. We fry it, and you can put tuna fish in it, or homemade jams, or honey, peanut butter, and it's really kind of delicious. So I'm just going to continue to knead this. Make sure you're getting all the stuff off the sides, all the flour off the bottom, because you want to get that all mixed in really, really well. I hope you guys are having a good November, and I hope you're liking the videos that I've been putting out. Hope you tried the chili, the one that was for Halloween. It was delicious. I hope you guys liked it. Pretty simple, easy recipe. It goes a long way. And chili is just one of those things that everybody kind of likes. Okay, I think we're about there. So what we're gonna do now is, dough takes time. So I am going to let this rest. The best way to let it rest is just to cover it, leave it alone. Kind of like me, I like to be covered and left alone when I want to rest. It's gonna puff up, and then we're gonna pull it apart and we're gonna make some delicious rolls. So we'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, well, the dough has risen. Look at that, it looks really good. So I'm gonna make a pan of rolls here. Best thing to do is use Crisco, and you've got to put something on your hands or that stuff's gonna stick. So lotion your hands up with the Crisco. And then you're gonna make these. People make these different. So my mom used to take this and she'd flop the dough out, and then she would let it roll it out, and then cut it with like a tuna fish can or something like that, and then she would flip them out like this and turn them over, and that's how she made hers. I do mine a little bit differently, and so I'm just going to make a pan of rolls here. Then we are going to need to let them rise for a little bit more because we are flattening them out a little bit. So we're going to make these, let them rise a little bit more, then we're going to bake them. You're going to see just how beautiful these are. So I just want to take this moment just to remind you to give me a comment if there's something that I'm doing that you would like to see, or something I'm not doing. Make sure you're subscribing. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate all of the likes. And I love seeing that people are making the products that I'm making and doing their own little spins on them. Subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And by all means, if you like what you're seeing, let me know. Tell your friends. Maybe they need to learn how to cook different things too. I try to make it kind of easy, and now we're going into the holiday season even more. And with that being said, if there's something you want to see for the holiday season, let me know. I'm going to try to do some fun things for, of course, for Thanksgiving in the next few episodes, and again for Christmas next month. It's just so you know, it's my birthday month too. I'm a Sagittarius, so you know Sagittarians are pretty fun people. I know you couldn't tell, huh? So I'm going to get this pan done. We're going to let them rise a little bit more, and then we're going to have some delicious rolls. Hi, we're back. Guess what? They turned out beautifully. I made a couple other things while I was at it, but take a look at this rolls. So, like I told you in one of the previous ones, we cooked pretty much everything at 350, which I did with these as well. So here are the rolls. They're all done. They're beautiful. There's a couple things I like to do to them that I'm going to show you. But right here are the Doughgads that I told you guys about. This is a family favorite. You can cut them in half, put whatever you like. We put tuna fish on them. I don't know why, it's just the thing that we've always done. So what we're going to do is, what you do is you spread them, kind of get a little ball, and you put it in frying oil or in Crisco. You can do one or the other, and fry on both sides till they're done in the middle, because you do want them done in the middle. You don't want to have too much dough. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? They're really delicious too. And I had enough dough that I did all of those, made a beautiful loaf of bread, and these. The last thing that you're going to want to do when you've made your rolls is just put a little bit of melted butter on there. It's so good. Makes them shiny and pretty, and gives them that extra little butter flavor, which everybody likes to have a little butter flavor. these are your buttered rolls. They're hot, they're delicious. And I just wanted you guys to know how much I appreciate you watching. Continue to subscribe. And as always, I cook for the love of my family, and now I share that with you. And we'll see you next week.